How many of you know what a pulmonologist is, what a pulmonologist does? We are going to find out and also talk about COPD with Dr. Jonelle Raphael, pulmonary and critical care physician at Southcoast. First of all, good morning. What a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Jonelle Raphael. I'm a pulmonary and critical care physician at St. Luke's Hospital, and my pulmonary practice is at the 208 Mill Road facility of Southcoast. I have finished my fellowship and trained in pulmonary and critical care diseases, so I manage patients with lung disease, all different kinds of lung disease, COPD being one of the more common ones. And I also do ICU management and hospital care of COPD patients at St. Luke's.
What is ICU management?
Intensive care.
Right, okay, very good. A lot of folks, a lot of my friends have COPD. Give us a reason how people come up with this disease and how you treat it.
Sure. So COPD is a very common disease. I think it's almost around 11 million people diagnosed every year with COPD. It's the third leading cause of death in the US is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Smoking is the most common cause in the US. And there's a lot of good treatments out there for it. We have made great advances and great strides in managing this disease, which is both preventable and treatable.
What other causes are there? I think smoking we're pretty much aware of. Is there any other thing that can cause COPD?
Well, in developed countries, smoking is the predominant cause. In some of the underdeveloped countries, it's burning, biomass fuels or burning other, animal excrements, etc., to help heat your house. So we don't really have that problem here. It's mostly smoking.
Yes.
It can be some organic and chemical dusts, but those are rarer.
It's funny you say that. A lot of other countries outside of the United States have a lot of smokers. There's a lot of smoking around the world. Then I just found out last week that burning wood has a lot of toxics in it, more so than smoking wood. Have you ever heard that before? That just the burning of wood has more toxics in it than a cigarette, let's say.
I'm not sure if that's true. I think cigarettes are still probably much more dangerous for you.
And when the cigarette smoke hits the lungs, what happens? How is COPD, how does it progress?
Sure. So in order to understand the disease, we have to understand how the lungs work. So when you inhale air, it goes into your windpipe, which divides into smaller tubes, and eventually they end up in air sacs called alveoli. That's where oxygen meets the bloodstream, and that's how oxygen then goes to all of your organs. When you have COPD, your airways and air sacs become severely inflamed and develop mucus, more mucus than normal. They become clogged, they become less elastic, and they cannot exchange air as well. Which is why over time people will develop shortness of breath, mostly on exertion, wheezing, cough, sputum production, etc.
And what treatments do you have, and how do you go about treating COPD?
Sure. So we take a comprehensive approach. The first line would be to first alleviate people's symptoms, which are mostly wheezing, congestion, and chronic cough. Then we want to work with trying to get them to be able to exercise more or to be able to do more with the lung function that they have left. It's a progressive disease which we can slow down. The most important way is by stopping smoking. So we can help people with our programs and with our measures and medications to stop smoking. The rest is developing and helping them lead a healthier lifestyle, which is focusing on other organ systems as well.
Is the same true if you're smoking anything else other than tobacco? Does that also affect the lungs in the same way?
It could. The most data that we have is for cigarette smoking because we have studied this so well. but you probably shouldn't be smoking anything if it were up to me.
Just last week I was honored to be a part of Shine a Light on Lung Cancer. And it was a moving evening, and Southcoast Health must be applauded for how they bring forward the message. It was so beautiful to be there with lung cancer survivors sharing their stories. We only have a couple of minutes left. Leave us with a message of hope for people who do come down with the diagnosis of lung cancer or COPD or anything else pertaining to the lung.
Well, most chronic lung disease and lung cancer today has come a long way. We have made so many advances. I would advise people to not lose hope, to quit smoking even if you've been diagnosed with lung cancer or chronic lung disease, because at any point quitting smoking is going to help you. And we have great physicians at Southcoast who can help you in a multidisciplinary approach to deal with your family, to deal with your situation, to deal with your health problems, most importantly, and to help you through this.
Thank you so much. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you'd like to leave as a part of the radio message of your appearance this morning?
I would say stop smoking, and stop smoking.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear. That sounds like very good advice. I want to thank Southcoast, Peter Coeno. Thank you so much for always being a part of getting these interviews set up for us. We think the world of Peter and Dr. Jonelle Raphael. And once again, if people want to get a hold of you, you're at the Mill Street location.
Yes, 208 Mill Road in
Mill
Fairhaven.
Yes. And how would they get about contacting you?
The Southcoast Call Center, the number is 508-973-2224.
And folks, personally, that is a state-of-the-art facility. We are so fortunate. You no longer have to go to Boston and fight all the traffic and the hours and all the parking and everything. We have state-of-the-art right here, thanks to Southcoast, and what a beautiful facility you have there on Mill Road. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Jonelle Raphael, a pulmonary and critical care specialist.